So this is pulling a 180. This is on M1 167. So this is after topic 2. So we're now starting a new topic. So pulling a 180. These are some examples of solving equations. So the first thing that we're going to be doing is talking about angles and reminding you guys about different types of angles. So you are going to see me using my notebook a lot. That's just because there's a bunch of vocabulary in this case. So here is my notebook. And angle, so this is angle and triangle information. So these are the three types of angles, and we are going to name them. So go ahead and draw these pictures and leave some room off to the side for you to write. So we have this one that makes like a sideways V, this one that makes an L with this little square right here, and we have this one that is like an L, but it's moved this direction. Okay, so this one is actually called an acute angle. So an acute angle, we have some examples. First we'll write has a measure less than 90 degrees. Okay, so a few examples would be like 60 degrees, 45 degrees. Sorry, you can probably hear the dogs drinking in the background. 15 degrees. So notice these are all less than 90 degrees. So this one would probably be close to 45 degrees. And you will see this little curve or part of a circle, like this little arch, and then there'll be a number. That's just showing you the angle measure. Okay, this one right here is actually let me switch colors because that's the way I am. This one is a right angle, meaning the angle measures exactly 90 degrees. Okay, and we use this little box. The box indicates a right angle. So for this one, you're not going to see me draw an arch and then put a 90. This is just an implied 90 degrees when it has that little box right there. So I don't know if you guys have heard me say this before, but math people are lazy and they don't like having to write as much. So they will put this little box so that they don't have to write the 90 degrees. Okay, the next one is, oops, I think I just used that color. We'll use red next. This one is an obtuse. So obtuse angle has a measure larger than 90 degrees. So examples of that would be like 110 degrees, 147 degrees, 172 degrees. So those are all examples. Again, you're going to see an arch, and then you will see some amount. So we'll call this one 110. I could measure it if I wanted, but for now we're just going to show examples. Okay, so the way I remember acute is you think about like a baby is cute, baby tigers, they're all cute. So I think about it when it's real little, it's aw, cute, but it's cute. This one's obtuse. So if you think about, like, if somebody, I know it's terrible, but it makes me think of the word obese. So it's obtuse, obese, I don't know. It's just wider, it's bigger. So I think about it as an L. So if I make an L, and it's a perfect L, that's a 90 degree. If it's smaller, like if the L piece is moved this way, it's acute. If it's moved this direction and getting bigger, it's obtuse. Okay, that ties us right into the types of triangles. So draw a triangle similar to this, draw a triangle similar to this, and then draw a triangle similar to this, and we're going to name them. So since we were just talking about obtuse angle, I'm going to show you which one is the obtuse triangle. So obtuse triangle has one angle that is larger than 90 degrees. So this angle right here, notice if I turn my paper, it's not the perfect L. If it was a perfect L, it would go like this. So that L is opened wide again. Okay, this one is called a right triangle. Because remember, what we just talked about is this right here shows a right angle. So a right triangle has a 90-degree angle. And then acute triangle, all angles are less than 90 degrees. So you can see there is no L where it's like this. All of them are smaller than an L. Okay, let me turn my page so I can get the next thing that I needed. Alright, so now we have angles of a triangle. So if I'm talking about these angles right here, so all of these angles, and you can mark them, you could highlight them, these are all called interior angles. The angles on the inside. So if you think about an interior designer, they are designing on the inside. Interior is thinking about, like, if this was a fence, all of those angles are inside of the fence. So then these ones, if I was talking about this angle, and this angle, those are all exterior angles. And they are formed, well, I'll say the angles on the outside. Hopefully that blue is easy enough to see. And they are formed, let me write this in a different color so it's easy to see. Formed by extending the sides of the triangle. Okay, so notice this side of this triangle is extended, and that's where I'm making the angle, on the outside of that triangle. So if I extend this one, it's formed on the outside of the triangle, and again this way. So I extended it, and it's that angle out there. Okay, so now I need to get a pair of scissors, and a piece of paper. Let me find a piece of paper. Alright, so what I want you to do is on a piece of paper I want you to draw a triangle. It doesn't matter what type of triangle. You could do an acute triangle, you could do an obtuse triangle. We're actually doing the activity that says rip them up on page M168. So if you notice, it says to use patty paper and tear them off. I'm going to actually cut it just because I don't have patty paper with me right now. So I'm going to cut my triangle. I should take lessons from my son on how to cut because I'm not cutting on the lines, but that's okay. So if we take this triangle, and I'm going to flip it over so that you can't see my messy lines. And I'm going to cut off a little bit of each angle, or of each of the angles. And I'm going to actually move this and put them on this board thing that I have right here. Okay, so we have this angle right here. And let me see, because I need to figure out which angle this was. Okay, so it's this side right here. So now, if you look at all of these angles, and I'm going to mark them just so we see. And I'm going to get them to line up. So we have this angle, and this angle. Notice when I match them up. So this is one of the previous sides. I know I drew in green, but we have this previous side that I cut off. We have this previous side that I cut off. And then those. So if I line up all of the edges of my triangle, and this is just to prove a point, so we're going to write it in our notebook in just a second, but this is just to prove a point. So if you take all of the angles off of your triangle and match them up next to each other, you will notice that they make a straight line. So let's go ahead and draw that. So if I take this, and I have one angle that was like that, one that was like that, and one that was there. And you could see that all angles of the triangle formed a straight line. And again, you don't have to do what I just did. I just wanted to show it to you. If you want to actually get the paper and cut those triangles, you can. This is just so that you know where this next thing comes from. So all angles of the triangle form a straight line. Now if we think about what we were just saying with a right angle, this would be 90 degrees and this would be 90 degrees. Sorry, somebody just coughed in the background. So this would be 90 degrees and that would be 90 degrees. Well, 90 plus 90 equals 180. Again, I'm just showing you where this next rule comes from. So all angles of a triangle add to 180 degrees. If you have a highlighter, might be a good idea to highlight. I like doing these little cloud bubbles because I'm weird. But all angles of a triangle add to 180 degrees. Okay, so again, if you wanted to do this activity, you could. I was just showing you so that you knew how to do it.